You've sold some insurance now, or maybe you've been doing this for just a few months, or maybe you've been selling life insurance or final expense products for several years, and you feel like you've tried everything, and yet it seems like you've just kind of maxed out what you can do with what you have, and here you are. You're not making enough money to live the kind of lifestyle that you thought you should have by now, or you're wondering, what do I have to do in order to get to the next level so that I can at least make multiple sales each day? I'm Doug Massey, and this video is all about exactly that. Today, I'm gonna lay down a step-by-step process and give you some actionable tips that you can simply follow, and if you do, you will be able to go from being what I want to say like an average struggling insurance agent to selling more life insurance than like 90% of all the licensed life insurance agents in the United States. And if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of the Overcoming Objections Super File, which has scripts on overcoming objections from like multiple scenarios. There is a saying in our industry that you'll tend to hear from time to time. You got to pay your dues. This is important. What this saying means to me is that you've got to get to the point where you actually know exactly what you're doing. You actually come off as someone who's, well, not just competent, but actually smooth and professional. Talent. The only way to get there is to bust your butt, do the activities, and then eventually that's what's gonna happen. So let's just assume that, that's kind of where you're at, right? One of the things that I hear the most from insurance agents is, I just can't get enough leads, or maybe I just can't find a way to make enough presentations. Now, in most cases, this can easily be resolved by like one, changing your mindset to accept that you have to treat this as a business and not just a job. And that means coming up with the capital and investment money into your business, for your business. And two, you need to find the right kind of leads, which inadvertently comes down to the agency that you're working with. Now, guys, let me be clear. If your upline doesn't have a lead or a sales platform where they are able to guarantee you like more exclusive, that's the key word, exclusive leads than like you'll ever be able to work, then you're done. You're working with the wrong people. In 2014, my first full calendar year selling final expense insurance, my profit margin was over $200,000. Now, think about it. That's without even getting, months 10, 11, and 12. The only reason that I was able to make that happen was because we threw like every penny we could come up with into the right kind of leads. As soon as I got my paid commissions, I reinvested it into the business, otherwise known as leads. Things were different then. I had to find my own lead sources. I had to come up with a system to effectively make a lot of presentations each day. And back then, guys, I was able to do that, believe it or not, face to face. With the technology that is available today, there is absolutely no excuse in the world for your upline to not be able to make sure that you have the right kind of leads and like a lot of them so that you're able to make a bunch of presentations each day. At my insurance agency, we use a calendar appointment system where half of the leads that come in will actually make the next step and set an appointment with the agent to speak with that agent about getting a quote for final expense life insurance. With one of these systems, you can literally throw money at the problem of not having enough people to speak with, and voila, problem solved. So one, you've paid your dues. You're a competent sales professional. Two, you have a way of speaking with a lot of people each day, so what's next? You want to have the right carriers with the best products that have like really easy underwriting, maybe a super easy signature process for the client for doing telesales. And assuming that you're doing the remote sales, that is. The carrier has to have high approval rates and like multiple options to insure people based on, well, a combination of like their health and maybe their form of payment, you know, the way that they get paid their Social Security money. A lot of folks nowadays do not have checking accounts, believe it or not. So it's important to have access to multiple carriers that'll take like refillable debit cards. I know you're seeing commercials for like Chime all the time, and a lot of these folks that do receive Social Security benefits or any type of government payment get it issued on a Direct Express card, which is what we see a lot of, like with people that are on, you know, fixed income and or living off of their disability or Social Security check. Some of the carriers that my top agents are using and that I really like are, and you probably should write this part down, guys, and FYI, we are a national distributor, so you can actually get contracted with most of these companies through me. For guaranteed issue, AIG and Great Western. Now, they're both competitive and they both take debit cards. SBLI, Savings Bank Life Insurance Company, has a new product that we're loving too. The approval percentages are like higher than most carriers, and you can give first day coverage to a lot of folks with a lot of different health conditions like COPD, hepatitis C, kidney disease, lupus, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, and even to folks who like suffer from epilepsy or, you know, tend to have seizure disorders. This SBLI product also comes with the Sequoia Funeral Concierge Plan that basically helps the client with the funeral arrangements so that their beneficiary, or, you know, they're usually the children, don't have to deal with too much when it comes that time. And they also take debit cards. Lumico has a good product, very competitively priced, and it takes debit cards too. They're super diabetic friendly and don't ask about insulin diabetics. They don't even ask about neuropathy. We still write a lot of the Prosperity s.u.s.a. New Vista Final Expense product too, which does also have several niches. Royal Neighbors of America is definitely a good product to have, as they don't ask about like height and weight, and they're also super diabetic friendly. And don't forget about Liberty Bankers Life. They definitely have their place in the market. And for sure, very important, American Amicable. American Amicable has one of the best priced return of premium / modified products on the market. They draft the payment better than anybody, and that's true. They've got multiple options for the client to do when it comes time to do the signature, you know, for the remote sales agents. And they recently started doing a bank authorization check to verify that the client's checking account is both correct and active before you even send up the application. Honestly, guys, the fact that American Amicable has had their final expense product for such a long time, and the one thing about them, they're constantly making changes to upgrade it so that it's easier to work with and more telesales friendly, makes them a great choice to be your leading carrier. With all of this said and done, in most cases, the only thing that is holding you back from taking your insurance business to the next level is you. I see some really talented insurance agents who could be super producers, and they're not. In most cases, they just don't want to pay their dues, or they just don't want to maybe put in the time that it takes to get there. In other words, it always comes down to work ethic. What you're willing to do, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get your insurance business to the next level, so that one day you never, ever, ever have to sacrifice anything ever again. Guys, thanks for watching. If you'd like access to free final expense telesales training, just click on the link above, and this will take you to our 3-part series, which covers like pretty much everything that you'll need to be successful at selling insurance remotely from the comfort of your own home. For a copy of the Overcoming Objections super file that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like to know how to contract with the carriers that I just mentioned, now assuming that you have something in place where you're actually making sales, or even if you need help from us to do that, you can reach out to me. And guys, we have a top producer remote sales platform that is unbelievable. Just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.